Please place the call.
So it's got a gun at the end there, where it's got a foam.
It's like on wheels.
Product.
So you're saying like when you flip that to walls, it has a different product for walls versus what glass and all that?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you what the range is.
So we should angle ours a little different.
This is supposed to be even. Ours is supposed to be at an angle.
How tall is their clearance here?
I'm not sure exactly how tall it is.
Yeah, it does look like it's lower.
To the control center in the back,
Yeah.
you've got one of these that's a portable that docks up there on the they call it the flight deck controller.
Okay.
And then there's another one that's permanent there, which they can go up with this belt. We can go up to 160, 170.
So on the outside,
The wash will begin momentarily. Please stand clear.
on the outside lane, you see the box that they've got out there.
Yeah.
So that's set up to be the VIP lane. So for anybody
Okay.
with a VIP tag to go to that lane.
Yeah.
But if you open that box up, there's a terminal in there just like this one.
Right.
And with a barcode scanner, sell wash packages out there. So on
Okay.
a busy day, they can open that up. They can sell unlimited tags and
Okay.
do all that processing out there as well.
Okay. So the thing you don't have is you don't have a person coming up to you, but you've got the ability for somebody to upsell themselves, or you could put something on the screen and
Right.
that kind of thing. So.
No? Okay. You can go, it's $57. So for $37 more, I mean 2 more washes you'd have it paid for. You can go for unlimited for a whole month, which would be until April 20. No? Okay.
So this is just charging right here. So it comes off
Yep.
and it's charging up.
Let me tell you what it is. They don't know. Well, really what we thought was Q issues was just a tricked air compressor.
Okay.
We didn't know. Our
Yeah.
pre-soak stopped working, or was kind of working on and off. And then the red hot lava wouldn't work, stuff wouldn't work, and we figured out it was the air compressor wasn't pushing enough air,
Okay.
so now we know that, so should be good to go.
Good, good,
Yeah, we
good.
had
It was
one.
just
Yeah,
simple
to do
fix.
I got the exact same compressor you guys have got.
Yeah.
One half of it had tripped the overload. So went under not too busy at times, it just kept up fine. When they got lined out to the street, like last Sunday.
Right.
It's terrible. It was a
Yeah, it's
nightmare.
like, what's going on here, you know? And then figured out that Roger went back and
Yep.
looked at it, compressor was tripped.
Okay.
And a lot of the functions in here to kick chemical on are air operated valves. So it wouldn't open the valves.
How many cars get in the line here on your real busy day? How many cars are out there, you think?
Busy day, you're to the street.
So what is that? Is that 30 cars?
I don't know. It depends if we have both lanes full.
No, maybe 20 cars.
Yeah.
So what's your
On
highest hour wash and highest total day you have?
Over 100
Over 100
an hour.
in an hour.
Mhm.
Wow.
We did 800 last Sunday. And that
You've
was
only-
our,
Oh, that's awesome.
that was
You're
our
only two-
biggest. It was awesome.
You're
It
2
was
months
fun.
in, right?
Yeah.
2 months in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Office at Heights.
She didn't know to get in neutral.
Huh?
Did she park then or neutral?
Yeah, she's in neutral now. But
Okay, so that's what you want. You want them in neutral,
she's in
right?
drive, yeah.
Can someone sit in park?
Yeah.
Can they be in park on there, or do they have to be neutral?
They could be,
They-
but
they
they
can
can't,
be.
until we get
Cause some problems at the end.
Okay, so neutral's the way you want it.
Neutral.
Okay.
So they can't, with these belts, yes, they could be in park till you got to the end, and that would be a problem.
All right.
One thing that the belt, as we talked about, does eliminate though, is any of the cars that have anti-braking on them.
Okay.
You know, so, and you're starting to see more and more of that, because if you've got one with the self-braking on it, they see a set of wraps, they hit the brakes,
Okay.
it doesn't matter on a belt.
Right, they're still gonna go.
I'm trying to remember our first couple months. I mean, I remember we had like 800, and that was a big deal when we hit that.
Yeah, we've never hit that number again for like a year.
That was just because of the grand opening. It really
Grand
ramped
opening.
up.
We had
Yeah.
542 our opening day.
Grand
I
opening.
think.
540. Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, the day we opened here, we did 600
Yeah.
that first day.
The 900 is a very
Six something.
new thing.
Yeah.
That was this winter. The first time we hit that.
That was like-
Now it's
Yeah.
every week though. but-
Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday definitely we would have
Yeah,
done
yep.
800
Uh,
if we
yeah.
wouldn't have had such issues.
So
I think
John,
we put it with our process,
That's
but
great, because Julie
what are the
and
top
I-
things you like about
Roger
this?
was
What are
here
the
for a
top
while,
things you
yeah,
don't like
Julie
about
and
this?
I Did it,
Um,
you know, we have no
I-
experience in the car
I mean, I
wash,
like the
so
belted conveyor. I don't like the
we
ABW
did
belted
fine,
conveyor, but
The belted what?
belted conveyor.
Oh, the belted conveyor. Okay.
Yeah, so
You like that?
I think what they first brought to us, the STI, I
Yeah.
like that one a lot better than the
What
ABW.
what about this?
I mean, I like this setup is nice.
Yeah. Is there anything you don't like about it?
Not necessarily. Not really.
Can you do a better job with this than what you got now?
Not necessarily do a better job. I
Yeah.
think it just has to be
Yeah.
different.
Everything.
Yeah, it's just a
Um,
different.
Yeah, I think
The iPad's nice because like in the morning.
it is nice that you could go out and do test things.
Start up.
You could stand out there.
And the first car whoever the manager is on duty, you run your first vehicle through, and I'll pull in and I'll get out
Yeah.
and have the iPad with me and watch it as it goes through, make sure everything's timed right. With the iPad, you know, my vehicle's going, it about gets a spot-free rinse. You'll either hit pause to slow the belt down a little bit so you can get in your vehicle. We're used to it now, so we just jump in and the iPad's going with us and we go out. So we do that every morning, run our own cars through,
That's
which
cool.
is nice. You just jump out, you got plenty of time.
What
First off.
what percent of the cars do you actually have interactions with the customers? Would you
Well,
say?
as long as if they're here, you know,
First lane at the window, you mean?
first lane window, yeah. XPT sometimes if they have issues, but
So are there like
we
half
try
the
to-
cars you're not talking to now? There's about half of them?
Yeah.
About half?
Yeah. But we acknowledge everybody that comes in that door. We'll say thanks for stopping, or you know, we'll
Right.
let them know that we're glad that they're here, so they come back. But I don't know. It's great. This is my first ever working at a car wash. So I'm
Is it?
used to retail, so this is totally different. But it's been easy to learn.
Is it good?
how many people do you have staffed right now?
Like 13,
13? How many do you have here right now?
just
You and Roger.
Me, well, Roger and I, and we have one employee.
If you get the cars out to the roads, how many people you need here?
4.
4?
Hi, welcome to the pizza.
Yeah, it does. Roger, are you eating pizza up here? Someone is.
Makes it nice to have your manager's workstation right here.
For a minute, just this structure versus our structure. This is a more expensive structure, isn't it?
With grab Rick, he's got the numbers on that.
I would think this is more. I would think it's more.
We're in this whole place.
In the whole four in the whole place? Okay, and I'll bet it's because we're not a ton different on equipment, but I'll bet it's because of this building. I would think a lot of it.
The equipment's a little bit less.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The building's probably a tick more.
Okay. What's the best thing about the equipment if you compare it to ours? What are the highlights? Is it the interface down there, or is it the actual physical stuff out there?
What I like about this stuff is the simplicity of it.
Okay.
This equipment is all very simple. It's all stainless, which I'm a huge fan of, but it's the wraps and everything. Once you set it, you just set it and forget it. There's no tweaking and tuning on it. Because there's not any air operated assist on it and all that. It's just very simple stuff. This is all Tommy / ABW, okay? So ABW builds most of this equipment to Tommy's design. That's how that works. So they have a partnership. If you go to the car wash show, they're in the same booth together.
Okay.
They're like,
Who are the two companies again? Tommy and
ABW, Automatic Vehicle Wash Company. They're out of Chicago.
Okay.
And they've been partnered together for
What are you looking at? That's a blank game.
He's kind of showing us through their camera system.
They've got a damn
one they were wanting to.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There's cameras in the tunnel.
it's on the
Yeah.
So you're seeing pretty much every angle of the car as it's going through.
You like that?
Yeah, very much so. It would make the damage claim process a lot easier.
Would it?
Yeah.
You think they have a little bit more damage here because of the cloth?
Yeah, I do. They, especially with antennas, scratches and antennas, they're going to run into that a lot more than we
There's a
do.
lot of things that we did that you guys, as we went along with your present tunnel, we knew that we made those improvements. Now we just incorporated them in.
So there's about 4.4 million in the whole place,
I believe that's the number.
plus their land. And they've probably got equipment in a similar range to us, maybe a little less, maybe.
It's a little less. It was,
Yeah.
well, you've got a quote on it. I mean, it's.
So they're paying for a lot of building here. I mean, they got a really cool building, a lot of neat stuff, but they're paying for a lot of
Here's
building.
what I'm seeing though with these. So this is the third one of these we've done. We've done 2 in Ohio for the same customer. That customer in Ohio, the first one we did is a 90-foot built, this same building. It's shorter. It doesn't, the building's toned down a little bit, doesn't have the second tower in the back.
Okay.
But because it was a small lot that it went on. That wash, we projected that wash in our projections, and we're conservative on that, at 80,000 cars the first year.
Okay.
They did 200.
Where's it at? In
It's in
Ohio?
Amherst, Ohio.
Amherst, Ohio.
And it's a B lot. It's not a great location.
That's pretty good.
We just opened another one for them the same week we opened this one. That's identical to this site, but it's blue on the outside and it's got stacked stone on it because that was the requirements in the city. Last weekend, they did 1,200 through that one. So they've been open 2 months. They've got 800 people on the Unlimited already.
Wow.
The
What's their population of that town?
Strongsville, Ohio, it's, you know, it's not,
And they don't have much competition, I would assume.
no, they don't.
Yeah.
They've got laser bays in town.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they've got several laser bays in town.
Yeah, but that's not competition to what?
Not really,
Yeah.
not to that, but what we're seeing is the capture rates with these whole package, these buildings, these washes, the capture rates are more than we've ever seen before. I mean, this whole facility draws these people in.
Right.
And the feedback that we're getting, the ease of getting in and getting on the belt and all that, people love it. So it's been quite eye-opening to see, you know, how well these guys are doing. And these guys in Ohio, Conrad's, they're a big tire and service center, and this is, like I say, it's their number 2. And I couldn't believe what their Strongsville one did over the weekend, 1,200 cars over the weekend.
And this place is-
one day.
Yeah.
It's only been open 2 months here.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they're having a similar experience to what we had in terms
Yeah,
of.
they did. She said Sunday they did 800, and they had the air problems on Sunday with the compressor down. And because we were on the phone with them, working through that, they probably could have done 9+ if it wouldn't have been for that. But
Difference with us is we're a much smaller town, but no competition. Here they've got a lot of competition,
Yeah,
but
Mike's
a
right
lot
there.
more cars. You know, they're just trying to get their market share.
And they're open longer.
Are they?
You back here. You
They
gotta
open
drive
late?
way to find this
9.
place. Now, you can drive
Close
by.
to
Let's
8.
talk about that tire cleaner at the end. That's Tire Shine. Is that what that is? So their blasters here are cleaning the tires as they go. They don't have a brush that cleans the tires, right?
Not a wheel boss, what they've got is 2 sets of low wraps that are getting that, that's what they pick up. And then they've got the tire shine down there, just like you got the tire shine is before your dryer,
Right.
and then they've got it after, because the people gotta actually, what it does, it launches the car through it, and the people end up finish driving through it.
Right,
So,
right. And that speed that they drive out with will determine what kind of shine they get.
yeah,
How many dryers do they have in there? They got high horsepower,
17, I think.
17,
got 18, 10
18.
more.
18, 10 horsepower, 18.
And then it's
So-
got the same heated dry that you've got, actually.
Right.
It's got the 2 1 million BTU door jet heaters.
So would our tire configuration be exactly like theirs?
Right, because you can't do it on the belt because the tires aren't turned.
Right, understood.
Yeah,
And you've
that's
gone
the
to
problem with
Milwaukee and
that.
looked at something to come up with a solution. This is that solution?
Yeah.
Well,
Is that
that
kinda-
was different, but that's the way they did the shine, basically.
Okay.
It's still
That doesn't
doing-
clean the tires.
Understood. You gotta clean it out here
Yeah.
right, before you get there.
So we're doing that with a mixture of chemical.
Are you cleaning them with like a prep? I missed that. Is it-
This?
And,
Like
and
they
then
clean
with
the
the
top
both
of here.
side wraps.
No, it's
The brush clean.
He's talking about right now. The side ramps
Okay.
down to there,
Yeah,
and there's high pressure down there. Which
Yes.
we don't have.
right.
We don't have that kind of stuff. What we have is a little different.
Yeah,
And then the chemical down there.
okay.
You think it's 4 windows off of
Our tires shine though. They really shine when I wash.
It took a while. It took I had to teach
another
myself,
observation
and
down
it was
there.
some things were set up
back
right
end.
and tire shine.
On the back.
They really shine now?
Yeah, we'll go down.
They do
Least I
now
did.
because I taught myself how to fix it. I had to take it over.
wraps here, Scott, or what helps clean the tires.
Okay.
Bill, these were designed to clean the tires.
Basically, yes, right. Yeah, that's why I was washing them off, because they get the dirtiest.
Yeah.
You gotta clean those a lot.
Well, I just feel like the car gets a better clean if you do, though. You know what I mean? If these ones and these ones you don't have to, but these ones, you know, personally.
Foam you don't have to really treat a lot. Cloth you gotta
Yeah,
stay
but these
on.
I feel like that way also, you know, if anything was to be lodged
Dirt,
in there,
yeah.
anything like that.
Every 7 or 8 cars will just go past them.
Past them, yeah.
A couple acres in this place, isn't there?
Yeah, I like that.
Do you?
I think it's a good use of space. Yeah.
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 We
going
talked
up.
to Jim about it,
Yeah.
and there's some stuff we could even do
At
with
our
our
place,
current layout.
yeah.
Like our,
To build a
not
walk
in
or something up
the
there.
but in our front where our lobby and entrance.
But what I was
Bring the equipment in initially, we bring it all in before the walls, that walls.
Yeah, right, good idea.
So, the way we configured this one is it's just got a heat exchanger, and they only have a little bit of heat at the exit pad, and a little bit at the entrance. So, the exit pad goes down 20 feet.
knew Tommy said they were just putting in art doing these vacuums. They're doing VacuTech like we do.
Yeah.
But VacuTech's top notch. But when we came through one time, almost all of these vacuums were just laying on the ground.
Were they?
Out of the nozzles, yeah.
So ours
It's
hang
kinda
up
weird.
high, so they're
They
not.
do.
Yeah. So if that cloth gets dry, you can get scratched.
Well, it could, you know, if it has
gotta
anything
stay on
on
top
it,
of it,
yes,
keep it
yep.
wet.
Yep, so you just hit
It was
one
just
button
you
and it runs. It used to run for almost a minute.
Which one do you
but,
want to do though? The VIP.
it should be all right. Come on.
Okay, there's a
Neutral. Good.
Okay, here comes a Harold's car that was dirty. So we're going through with no prep. And you can see walking right up to a little soap on it.
This was an issue?
Yeah.
They're having to get rid of that curb.
Are they?
You see people just
driving right over it, yeah. It's not super dry for a little car, not super dry.
See, like, our prepper would have gotten that off.
Would have gotten this stuff off?
Yeah. This is just like a grease stain, probably.
Okay. So if you were getting your car cleaned, you'd probably want to run it through ours and get it prepped? Not necessarily?
No, they do. Like, cleaning wise, they're comparable to us. I don't have a problem with them cleaning wise. It's on the other side of things.
We will cater, I think, to the pickier customer better.
Will we?
Because if they ask for extra detail on thing, they can't do anything here.
Okay.
So as I tell all of my preppers, it is 40% what you do, 60% show.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I can make them feel like I'm
Prepped
doing
it
their car
good.
so much better.
Or you can really get the right spots.
Yeah. But I think they do a good job.
Yep.
Travis has come through here before.
They're wet in the back like us too.
Yeah.
Got the lip up there.
They're having a lot of problems with their dryers. Right now.
Are they
Trying
really?
to figuring them out.
Yeah, they are trying to finagle them. When we came through, our tires, the tire shine needed a lot of work. It looks a lot better this way.
Well, they're 2 months in too. You know?
Yeah.
When
I
I
mean, we
run
had
through
to-
Mike's, now Mike's preps everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they're prepping the back, and they don't get this area clean. They never get this clean. Never.
Who doesn't?
The Mike's tunnels. And there's always dirt up under here. I noticed coming through here, you've got multiple times when your wraps are coming across in there. And another thing they don't do, or they do rather, is they always prep your front down, and they always prep your windshield.
Mike's.
Mike's always. And if it's a busy day, like a Saturday or something like that, they might have 3 preppers.
Yeah.
They might have 2 at the door and 1 out on the hill.
So they could go this route with no prepping, and they've chosen not to for their brand.
Yeah. And a tunnel properly set up shouldn't have to have prepping.
Really? So if you were going to take over Mike's and build the next place, maybe do it without prepping?
I would.
Yeah.
It was me. But if I was going to build a tunnel,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't build anything that Mike's with Mike's type of equipment in it.
Okay. So these things lay around a lot.
They do. You actually can see over there. There's one laying down.
There's one on the ground right there.
No, it's just.
They don't go back in easily. Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
they are.
Here.
Oh, look at the cloth.
This is what we have.
$5.
Similar
I
plan.
get one every time.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
I need to get.
Okay, this is a dirty one. We're going to look at the prep on this, or lack of prep rather, and see what it does here. Because this is one dirty car. Okay, let's take it through, Jay. I'll meet you on the other end. What do you think, Travis?
I'll let you know in a second.
We need an expert to look at it. Let me look at it. So what do you think? Did got this one pretty good?
No prep.
Not bad for no prep?
It's pretty good. Almost got the grill here.
Yeah, you can see the grill's not perfect. Yeah, it was gross. The running boards?
But they're not bad.
No.
But
So we'd have gotten this better.
yeah, we prep running boards really well. You kind of see here too. It's a little dirty there, but I mean, for the most part, it's pretty clean.
If you're a real picky customer, you might not like this, but most people are going to be okay with this, aren't
Yep.
they? mph belt speed. So you're going to get 138 cars an hour.
On their busy days, they're cranking this up. They're taking this up to 155, I think.
So the
It's almost frightening.
That cloth is getting a little dirty out there, but you're not worried about damage right now.
No, not at all.
So the mixture of the cloth and the foam is kind of nice.
Mike's has got, you know, Mike's are big. They got cloth through the whole thing. They're not supposed to see them. It's just, that's not necessary. It's fine.
He said he hasn't had to turn away many here, but if we
So,
had that in Warsaw,
They're a lot
that would
less
be,
rural here.
yes,
than what we
Warsaw we have.
So how muddy do they have to be before they turn somebody away? I mean,
He said he's only done it a few times.
but he still have to turn people away.
Yeah, and so like we don't have to.
Right.
We just prep it off.
Yes, and that's where like people come in and they're like, now we may, the wheel wells, they may be really bad and we're like, we're gonna, they know like, I know I'm not gonna get all the wheel wells clean. Like that's fine. We have to make sure it gets off all the side of the car, otherwise the next car that comes off, even with our rinsing, especially with cloth, that's not gonna come off. Look at the rims.
Yeah.
Look at all that tire shine. It's on all of it. Look how grimy it is.
One of the things that Scott didn't do is kept it neutral and just rolled out instead of driving. It said go, and he just kept neutral, so maybe he didn't go fast.
But I mean, if you drive out, you get patches.
Right, you'll get, and that's the problem. Your speed
It's so hard.
is going to
Wow,
determine
look at that.
what kind of
Look at this.
job-
Yeah.
Look at this right here.
So you're seeing tire shine.
And that's something that can be dialed up a little bit, but it's still going
They
to
don't
rely
have it
all on
dialed
the
in yet.
It's
customer.
all on the customer.
Realize the customer speed.
So based on how I rolled out, I got too much tire shine on there.
How'd they do on the running boards? Pretty good. They weren't filthy though. Pretty good.
Yeah. There's a little more soap on this than what I'm used to at Clearwater.
And our dryers suck right now.
So you have these cameras out here that see it right now. To catch damage. Didn't move in really quick to that. Quick.
Yeah.
What they're on pace, they'll hit that.
You think they'll hit 150?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said they're about 10,000 a month right now. That kind of number
Yeah.
threw out a while ago.
Yeah.
So what I've noticed is that the line never stacks up, but they're rolling cars.
They're rolling, yeah. Now Sunday, they were stacked, and I've been here when they're out to the street out here.
Okay.
You know, but that's a 700 or 800 car day.
Right.
Sunday they did 8 something, and they'd have done 9. They probably hit 1,000 Sunday, but we had the air compressor issue, so they were having to slow the line down because until it all clicked what was going on, but the air wouldn't keep up. And
It does look really cool. What do you guys think back there? Thoughts? Good and bad.
The open layout is definitely beautiful.
Yeah.
Brian's got a valid concern with the glass.
Yeah.
My biggest concern, I think we could keep it clean. Maybe it'd get scummy. I'm not exactly sure on that one. But
Seals
if there's an
eventually go
issue,
out.
like if there's equipment that goes down, everyone sees that. We
Ah,
can't hide ever. Like if we're
That's
doing
my biggest
major
concern.
Is it?
major maintenance.
Well, think about it. What if someone does stick it into drive and hits somebody?
Yeah, if there's
you
a
may
collision
say
in
that may
there.
not happen, but in the past 2 weeks, we've had 3 people stick it in a drive and just ram into the person in front of them.
So that's a
So if
liability.
we've got a
And every
long
single
line,
person would see that.
everyone in line would see that there's 2 cars touching in the tunnel, or
Yeah.
so. There's the pros are the exact same as the cons, where it's so open, everyone sees it.
Its greatest strength is also its greatest weakness.
Exactly.
Kind of
Exactly.
thing.
But like on a day like today, it's a beautiful strength because it's gorgeous outside and it just brightens up the tunnel.
And they're on a crappier lot, able to do, what was it, 137 cars an hour?
Yeah, 130 something.
130
The
some cars
speed
an
is set
hour.
to.
On track to do 150,000 cars. So they're competing with Mike's, but, you know, and they've got a good clean wash, but and they're not prepping. which I think there's a lot to talk about on that, though. There's a lot of...
There's so much that goes into the loading process with
Yeah.
prepping, how
Yeah.
it gets in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that prepping or lack thereof really slows us down. No question, we can't wash as many cars.
And the thing is, I think the thing to make of note is our differences between Tommy's and us, that Tommy's is better than us, is not necessarily Tommy's is better. It's where Harold's failed us in how they set things up.
Yeah.
And
Which
honestly,
we've changed a lot of that, right?
we have.
No,
Well, some things you can't change.
Yeah, some things we're just waiting on prices and that kind of stuff. It's in the plans to get changed.
Like, we could make improvements in Muncie.
Yes.
And
honestly,
we already have those set in place.
Yeah.
That's what...
with the plan that they had set in place before they brought Tommy's to the table, we'd be able to process cars just as fast as they are doing here. And we'd still have the opportunity to prep if need be. We wouldn't have to turn away muddy cars.
And Kevin was telling us that he, after the fact, which it sounded very familiar with our own story, is just how he was very misled by Harold's on the whole process, how easy everything was going to be. And he didn't like Tommy's. He didn't like working with them as a company. He did not. They've caused a lot of problems, and he didn't like that. He felt, not that he had anything, he was just like, I understand it's Harold's job to sell a product.
Right.
But
You got to remember they're selling. Yeah.
They misled us, and a lot of things we were sort of left hanging with the bag, or like, and this is, the thing is Harold's, this is only the third Tommy's they've ever installed.
Okay.
You definitely got to take it into consideration when talking to Harold's about this.
Yes.
That it's a lot less work for them. Like, they're pushing this, but
It's more cookie cutter, right?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
cookie cutter. Jay doesn't have to go sit in an office and put the layout because Tommy does that.
Okay.
And they just kind of set it. So, not saying that's a reason not to, but
But
it's
it makes it easier for them and know it.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
just
that's a
know it.
reason for them to
Advantage,
push
so.
Tommy's to us.